So Lauren Murphy is being delusional on Twitter, and she is going after some of the opinions about her fight at UFC 283, and I wanted to make a video on this because I think it's a very important subject that we need to really sort of focus on a little bit in MMA, because I don't know if you guys have noticed, but CTE is starting to make some older fighters do some questionable things, okay? And we're really starting to see the backlash of taking all that brain trauma. And talking about brain trauma, I don't know if you guys saw the fight with Jessica Andrade and Lauren Murphy, but basically, Jessica Andrade fought a female fighter that was doing a really good impression of a heavy bag with eyes, and that was Lauren Murphy. And she beat up on that heavy bag for 15 minutes for everyone to watch. That heavy bag didn't do anything back really whatsoever. She landed some shots, but none of them seemed to do anything or have any effect whatsoever on Jessica Andrade, who continued to walk her down and land, no joke, 10-punch combinations at will on Lauren Murphy and just batter her around the octagon live on pay-per-view. I think it should have been stopped at the end of the second round. I don't think there should have been a third round, and I'll be pushed to accept this. Maybe the decision should have been from the corner of Lauren Murphy. You know what? It's not going our way. You're not doing anything whatsoever good in the fight. You're getting destroyed every single round. We're seeing 10-8 rounds with no knockdown, okay? That's how much of a beating it was. How about this? You've got 1 minute to turn this around and show us that you're actually able to do something to make yourself win this fight, or we're going to throw in the towel and we'll end this fight in the middle of the round, okay? So let's talk about this situation. Lauren Murphy's come out on Twitter and she said some stuff like, all the podcasters and fans are screeching about Lauren Murphy needs a new corner and they should throw in the towel. And she rolls her eyes, middle finger, peace sign, and she goes on to say much more afterwards as well that I'm going to talk about in today's video. But she's been saying stuff like, and she compares it to others, you know, and she compares it to a lot of male fights. So we know what this is really intended to be. This is like, you're trying to demean me and talk down to me and treat me different because I'm a woman. And she goes on to mention some female fights afterwards. But initially, she comes out with a bunch of male fight comparisons, including the main event. So she goes, is anyone arguing that Glover's corner should have stopped it? I saw him after the fights and he looked way worse than me. Both his eyes are closed and he took a ton of unanswered shots. That's just not true. Glover answered the shots, okay? And he had moments in the fight of success. You had none, and your answer for the shots was to swing back like you had no idea what you were doing and you were basically blind. Glover's eyes might have been swollen shut, but somehow he looked like he was seeing more than you were, okay? That's just how it is. So although Glover's eyes were swollen shut, you looked like the blind person at UFC 283 with the way you were trying to swing back at Jessica Andrade. Fact. Glover was swinging back. It was a title fight. Pretty different situation. It's the last fight of his career. Gonna have a little bit of leeway there. He's not covering up. He's always trying to fight back. He's keeping his eyes open. He's swinging back, landing good shots on Jamal Hill. But Jamal Hill's got a hell of a chin as well. So he's taking those shots and just outlanding Glover every single round. Glover got takedowns. He had mount in the 5th round. It's not like Glover was doing nothing back. He was just getting outlanded and beaten unanimously across the fight. So that's incorrect from you. We'll move on. You compare it to Brian Ortega's fight. People saying my fight should be stopped in the corner. What about when Brian Ortega got a boxing lesson in the middle of the fight from Max? Oh, you mean that fight that was stopped in the corner? You intellectual. Oh my God, you're so smart. Exactly. He was getting beaten, wasn't showing signs of improvement, was taking a bunch of damage, wasn't looking good for him whatsoever, and even he was swinging back better than you were. And they called off that fight in the corner, and it was a great move. A really good move. And it might have added a little bit longer of time to the career of Brian Ortega. So you've used an example where the corner literally did step in to say, well, what about when they didn't step in for this one? So you clearly, maybe they should have stepped in because you ain't seeing things correctly after this fight, okay? Andrade beat you so bad you forgot that Ortega's fight got stopped in the corner by his team, who were a good team for stopping the fight. We move on. Look at Darren Elkins' entire career. You know what I mean? Like, Darren Elkins, He gets beaten up, but he mainly gets cut open and shows visible damage. He's still in the fight at times. You literally got 10-8 rounded over and over again. No success. No chance at landing anything good back. No sway of momentum. It was one-way traffic the entire fight. You landing glancing blows. And Andrade, literally, not even exaggerating here, landing 10-punch combinations on you. You know what I mean? Like, and this is where the fighters are going to be a problem because they're dumb. A lot of them, anyway. And they're going to have this mindset of, like, I'm the fighter, I'm tough. And that's partially, that mindset's why they got into fighting in the first place. You know what I mean? Because they want to prove they're tough. And that's a part of them. I get that. They're going to have that personality. But this is why we got all these problems with these older fighters and their CTE. We need to start taking action and chucking in a towel now and again when it's not a title fight. And Andrade is just using Lauren Murphy as a warm-up. You know what I mean? As a speed bag for 15 minutes. We move on, though. It's a fist fight. Sometimes we get beat up. It might make you uncomfortable, but that's your problem. I signed up for this. I got beat up, not murdered. I have 2 black eyes today, and that's it. I'm going to be just fine. Getting my ass kicked is part of the job sometimes. Not if you're good at it. I'm okay with it, and if you're an MMA fan, you should be too. No, we shouldn't be okay with excessive beatings on a fighter that doesn't need to take that beating. That's not a part of it. You know what I mean? I'm a fan of the sport. I'm not a fan of CTE. It's funny sometimes, but like other times it's not. I don't have to be... If you're an MMA fan, you should be okay with someone being beaten to a pulp for 15 straight minutes with no single moment of success whatsoever and having 5 years taken off their life. You need to be okay with that. No. Move on to something else. Overall disheartened. I told my corner I would do what they wanted, and you didn't. And it tried like hell to make it happen. I didn't have some of the tools I needed to make it happen, like eyesight, apparently, by the way you were striking in round 3, and limbs, and punching fundamentals, but it's all good. But that doesn't mean I should have been pulled like don't have a chance. I can't stand it when people say she had no chance of winning, so just stop the fight. Where's the spirit of competition in that? Y'all drive me nuts because we're damned if we do, damned if we don't. Okay? We go on to another thing here. Coaches I've ever had. Best coaches I've ever had. I'm so grateful they let me fight till the end. I am tough. Yeah, I know. You keep trying to prove it seems. It's one of my favorite things about myself. And for me, it's a joy to display my heart to the whole world. Most of you won't have any idea what I'm talking about, and that's fine. Most media and half the fans will find a way to shit on it, as they have for most of my career. I never let it deter me, and I won't now. Tell y'all what, when you guys compete at coach at a high enough level that you end up in the corner of a top 5 UFC fight, you guys can corner any way you want. Okay, I just know this. If I was a corner man, and I know that Lauren Murphy's corner person is her husband, I'm pretty sure. If my wife's having no success and just getting beaten to a pulp, I'm throwing in the towel. End of discussion. I just know that would be the situation. So, say what you want, Lauren Murphy, Mrs. Tough Woman. And then she tries to add a female example to prove that she's not just making it about men versus women. Where were these people when Joanna looked like fucking Megamind in her fight with Wei Li? You mean that really close fight that could have gone to Joanna and Jacek, and that's the single reason why they kept it going? If they're concerned for safety, why weren't they screaming for her to be pulled? Competitive or not, shouldn't her safety have come first? Miss me with this double standard BS. You're really not understanding the difference between damage taken in a fight and ability in a fight. You're talking about damage like Darren Elkins, you know what I mean? Like he has a cut over his eye. Glover's got cuts over his eyes are swollen shut. He's got a busted nose. You were just getting beaten up for 15 minutes. No success whatsoever. Not a single moment. Maybe a takedown and then immediately Andrade's back up and beating you up again. No success. Joanna and Jacek could have won the Zhang Weili fight. It's a championship bout. She could have won it. That's why they kept it going. Because it was really competitive. And she fought on and showed that despite that, she was still fighting like an animal and trying to keep that fight going. You weren't showing that at any moment. You were just swing like a blind person. 10 more shots on the chin. What are we talking about here? And then she goes and does what people that know they're wrong do and she basically highlights anyone agreeing with her out there. What angered me was how the broadcasters were screaming, "Stop the fight" with you, but not a word when Glover was getting beat badly. I think they were mentioning something, but either way, Glover was fighting back. Constantly finding a way into the fight, shooting a takedown, landing good punches to deter Hill and make Hill back off a little bit and give himself some space. 100. So she's trying to make it like, you know, they weren't doing it for the men, but they say it in my fight. You're paying attention to the wrong people. Your fight didn't need to be stopped. Someone who's just literally trying to be a simp online rather than chase any kind of truth whatsoever. So that's his life. This is why I don't go on Twitter. You're tough as hell. Half these people would have folded after one of them shots. So yeah, 120-pound Jessica Andrade. Half of everyone would have folded after one of those shots. Oh my god, yeah. Sure, dude, 125-pound Andrade. Folding anyone. Half the population of Earth with those punches. Lauren Murphy can take more than half the world. That's how tough she is. 130-pound Lauren Murphy. My god, she's tough. Either way. Funny nobody had that to say in the main event watching Glover get battered for 25 minutes. His fan base is really good at being loud and wrong. And you're good at being a simp. Yeah, I mean, it's just how it is. People have different talents, I guess. The main event was not the same situation. Glover was in there, landing back, trying to get takedowns, getting mount in round 5, getting a takedown in round 3 and looking for the rear naked. It was not the same situation at all. And it was for a title. God. And this just sums up the intellect level of Lauren Murphy at the end of everything. Leo tweets, Leo couldn't be fake about anything, even if they tried. Their facial expressions would never allow it. So in case you weren't convinced I'd won the argument, she believes fucking horoscopes. I win. Fucking hell, dude. Just in case you weren't convinced that she was wrong, she extra retweeted a horoscope thing about, because I'm born on this day and not that day. You can be, there's literally a minute of a difference between horoscopes at times. A minute. Someone born just before midnight, someone born at midnight. And that's enough to change everything about them as a personality? You're dumb. And that proves it. And these tweets prove it. We need to start throwing in the towel a little bit more, especially when there's no title on the line, and especially when someone's just getting used like a heavy bag. Not a competitive fight, not a tough fight whatsoever. Like, there was no success for Lauren Murphy at all in that fight. I'm going to try and find some other things that she said. Oh my god. We felt sorry for you, someone said. I feel sorry for you, dude, so we're even. Just fucking die of brain damage then, you fucking dummy. You know what? Why am I even making these videos, dude? Why am I even making these videos? It's just like, we get it. You took an L and you're sad. Maybe I shouldn't have even made the fucking video, dude. Just fucking annoying to see this. Like, after all the CTE problems that we're seeing with fighters nowadays. Older fighters having these moments in their life where they do something completely out of character. We got to start chucking in a towel now and again. I'm not talking about Glover Teixeira, Jamal Hill. I'm talking about when Lauren Murphy has no chance in winning. And she's 135 pounds. And she don't have the power to even make Andrade second guess throwing another punch. Let alone drop Andrade or finish her with a punch. She's not shooting takedowns anymore. She's not doing anything good. She's just getting beaten up the whole time. We need to start throwing in the towel. And the fact that you even brought up Ortega as an example of a case where maybe it should have been thrown in on the towel, and it was, and you didn't even realize that because you went through that third round with Andrade, maybe. Proof all enough. And you believe in horoscopes. Fucking dummy. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Toodle pip. I'll see you later. Maybe the next horoscope from Leo will be like, oh, today you'll have a fucking seizure in the middle of fucking Walmart. You know what I mean? Maybe that'll be the horoscope. Because that's where your future's heading if you're going to keep on taking that beating and not throwing in a towel. Leo horoscope. A Leo is the type to go into a Walmart and black out and not see anything and then end up with a knife in their hand and then they're in cuffs and in prison and they don't know what happened and they're asking questions. You know what I mean? A Leo couldn't be fake about anything. Their brain damage would twitch their emotions into order and reveal all of their secrets. We'll see what Leo tweets come up in the future, to be honest with you. Maybe I'll give it a follow. Oh, wait, I don't have a Twitter because I'm not a retard. See you later. Goodbye.